announcements. Okay, so I've got the perfect Grinch style mocktail garnishment. Okay? Isn't this cute and clever? So, it's a greasy black banana peel. And no, I'm not losing my mind. This is actually the garnish for my mocktail today. And I'm reading some notes, okay? So that I won't forget what I wanted to say in this here live. Okay, so this is very scripted without the teleprompter. Okay, so I say mocktail, and this is the reason why I say mocktail, because I'm not drinking alcohol this season. I've never drink. I don't drink alcohol on a regular basis for three reasons. Number one, it dries your skin. Number two, it impairs your judgment. And number three, I am not blaming anything on alcohol this season in my life. Okay, so let me explain why this banana peel matters. I left it sitting on the counter. Around day 5, it got a little brown spots. Day 7, questionable. Day 10, full greasy black Grinch level banana energy. And nothing was actually wrong with the banana. It just sat too long in the wrong condition. And I know somebody watching right now can relate. You didn't start off bitter, and you didn't start off tired. You didn't start off jarred or jaded. Life just left you sitting. Deadlines, disappointments, bills, people, expectations, and slowly, without even noticing, you started to change. Now, a transparency moment. Because sometimes we don't have time to remember every word. Sometimes we don't have time to remember every word on these content creation streets. Or to even set up the teleprompter. Or to even rehearse for hours. But we do want to show up, right? We want to show up. We do want to add value, and we do want to say something that actually resonates, right? So this is Chat GPT style content. This is, like I said, when you don't want to fool around with the teleprompter, you don't want to rehearse for hours your line, your script, but you want to show up and you want to add value. So I'm reading from my notes. Okay, so if you're a content creator, an entrepreneur, or just someone trying to get your message out, this is your permission slip. Use ChatGPT. Get some help, okay? Because clarity matters, and presence on these YouTube streets for any content platform matters. That's why I'm choosing a mocktail today. And that's why this greasy black banana peel is the garnish. If you've been feeling a little overripe lately, you're not spoiled. You're just due for a refresh. Okay, so just realize you're not spoiled. You're just due for a refresh. You started off yellow, you started off cute, but then life got in the way, right? Bills, people, expectations. So let's just grab a drink, grab a mocktail, some tea, some water, whatever beverage you want to grab at this time of the night is what, morning rather, it's 1:28 a.m. in the morning. And let's just talk. Hey everyone, I'm Brigitte, the creator of this channel, Beauty by Brigitte, where we talk about all things beautiful, including spiritual beauty. So not only do we talk about physical beauty and my secrets as people suggest that I should disclose and ask that I should share at the age of 62 what I have done for so many years to manage a youthful appearance. And as I have mentioned, mocktails are what I drink. And this will be part of my Grinch Style Mocktail garnish. So I don't do alcohol because it dries the skin, as I mentioned before. And as I said, it impairs judgment. And in this season of my life, I will not be blaming it on the alcohol. Hey, oh, thank you. I appreciate those kind words. Thank you for showing up. Thank you. So it's been a while, guys. I was supposed to be on here like every day doing Vlogmas. Life just got in the way. Uh, as some of you may know, I do have an autoimmune condition. That's where your good cells are fighting each other. The majority of your good cells are fighting each other. So you have a combination of bad cells, like viruses, those agents that's coming into your body, those enemies that's coming into your bodies. And then you have the good cells that supposedly should be fighting them off, right? But most of my cells are fighting the good cells that are to fight the viruses, and the bad cells are fighting each other. So that's how autoimmune works. I hope I explained that correctly. So yeah, so my immune system is kind of weak, and I tend to get sick really, really easy, very fast. And it seems like every holiday season, every birthday, because I just celebrated a 62 birthday, and every birthday I get sick. And I just took on a new job. So I have an existing job, right? Which is maintenance. I work in the maintenance department for a company, and it's a really highly physical job. Oh, thank you. I hope you are well too, especially during this holiday season. I hope you're doing lots of fun things with your family and taking time out to do some self-care. And so, as I was mentioning, I just wanted to take a second job to like defeat the ills of hardly having any Christmas gift right around this season because of constantly getting sick and then running out of PTO. Because I get sick often, I utilize my PTO, and then by the time I get sick again, there's no more PTO. So I figure, I'll be determined. I'm gonna fight that this year. I'm gonna have tons of Christmas presents for everyone this year. And so I went out and got another job, which defeated the whole purpose because I got sick again. And getting the second job was supposed to help, but apparently it didn't because I got sick again. So here it is. My autoimmune condition is like the Grinch. It's the Grinch that steals my Christmas. So, but nonetheless, I will not let that get me down. I'm going to realize and reflect on the most important thing of this season, and that is love and family and being there to be a blessing to people. I feel bad for the company I started to work for because the doctor put me on rest for a whole entire week, and I was out for a whole entire week, and I just started with this company. And oh God, my other job, my primary job is highly physically demanding, and then this job is highly physically demanding too. But I thought, I'm gonna have some tons of Christmas presents under the tree. I'm gonna defeat this illness that comes upon me during this holiday season, and all throughout the year. The autoimmune condition, it affects me all throughout the year. So yeah. So I hardly have any gifts. So, but that's okay. I'm gonna get creative and innovative, and I'll probably create a YouTube channel for my grandkids, right? Like a private YouTube channel where I'm studying AI, so I know how to make animations now, And so I'm gonna make like little messages, grandma love you type messages and stuff like that for my grandkids. Thank you so much for the hearts. I really appreciate them. So I'm gonna make little um, animated fun things for my grandkids, um, and do something creative and innovative, you know. So so I'm out of work from the second job for a moment because I'm trying to recover. Um, I'm still recovering from I had an upper respiratory viral infection. That's when the doctor put me on bed rest for a week. And so it is what it is. So I do have like my own business, my own cosmetic line. I do have this YouTube channel. And I was, like I mentioned before, I was supposed to get on here like every day for Vlogmas, right? Because that's what Vlogmas entails, that you show up every day and you do something Christmassy every day. And because I was sick, I was not able to do that. And because I was working in 2 jobs like back to back, I was not able to do that. So some of the money that I did get from the job, I'm getting a paycheck on the 24th, and so I think I'm gonna just go out and see what I can get for my 2 older kids that are here with me, and bake some cookies and just make the best of it and just have fun. Hi, 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 welcome to the live. Thank you for showing up. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for the hearts and for the love and the kind words. Aw, thank you for those kind words. Aw, yes, I do pray to God. I pray a lot. And I so hate disappointing people, you know, letting those people down at the first job and having to be out, I mean, at the second job and having to be out for a whole entire week. Oh my God, that was just like so disheartening for me. And so I'm just gonna have to change my schedule, and I'm suggesting perhaps, oh God, a 6 to 10, like in the evening, and then go on to my nighttime job from there. And so I do body butters for my cosmetic line, and I'm waiting for the shipment from the wholesale company for the lip glosses, and so I'm gonna send those out because some people ordered, and so I'm happy about that. Yes. So how many of you here are familiar with Chat GPT, and what do you think about AI? Do you think it's making your life easier? Actually, it has made my life a little easier. Coming up with the script. If you started on this live from the beginning, I asked ChatGPT to help me with this first initial script because, as I said, sometimes, you know, when you get sick and you want to show up as a content creator, it gets a bit much when you try to rehearse every line and try to remember every line. You know, there's a tool called teleprompter that you can just put it has your words. You can put your script in the screen and it'll show up on the screen. You don't see it, but I see it, and it you know, it rehearses your script, what you wanted to say in it. It's really good, but I just didn't have time for that tonight because I have a doctor's appointment tomorrow. I have a very important doctor's appointment, so I'm gonna shower up a little later and probably have some tea and just go back to rest. Thank you for those who are showing up. I appreciate you. And thank you for the hearts. Thank you for the love. What does your holiday season look like right now? Let me know in the comments. Have you done all your shopping yet? Oh, and as I mentioned in the beginning of the video, this is the black banana peel that I'm going to use as a garnishment for my mocktail, for my Grinch mocktail. Do you think it's a clever idea? Let me know in the comments if you think it's a clever idea. I think it's quite funny. I think it's clever, entertaining. If you're going to have guests over, and you can get some wine glasses and just put your concoction. Last year, what I did, my concoction was mango, spinach, and kale, and bananas, right? Healthy looking bananas in the blender, in the bullet blender, and I mixed that up. But I was thinking, how would I make that look more mocktail or cocktail like? But that was my mocktail, and and then the video is somewhere here on this channel. And this black banana peel was my garnishment. And the way you get it black like this, you just set it out on the counter, and you buy banana, of course, and you just single it out, and you just set it out on the counter. And by day 10, it starts to get black and greasy looking. Someone is saying you are to face and have a testimony. Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you for those kind words. Thank you so much for those kind words. I really appreciate that. I really appreciate those kind words. Oh gosh, guys, I really hate disappointing people, and I'm thinking, I'm gonna get this job. I'm gonna take my vitamins. I hope I don't get sick, but I'm just gonna take my vitamins. I'm gonna make sure I go to sleep. I'm gonna make sure I eat well. And even with that, I still end up getting sick. But I tried. That's all I can say is that I tried. I tried. And here it is. I'm shortchanged again this Christmas. But you know what? Let me tell you something. As I was growing up, I would my grandmother was very spiritual, and she would introduce me to spiritual passages and sayings, and she prayed often with me, my sister and I. And I would often run into that word hope as I'm reading scripture. Okay, love, I understand. Faith, I understand. And hope, like, where does that have a significance? I often thought that I was growing up, even in my adult life, I thought, hope, what meaning or substance does it have? But as I have gotten in my 62 years of age, I'm 62, um, it finally dawned on me the significance of that word hope. Hope is something to look forward to. I never looked at it that way before. It's like, you're never too old to learn. You're never too old to learn. Hope, the significance, we always need something to hold on to, and we always need something to look forward to. That's what makes life meaningful, right? So that's what have made life meaningful for me, is to hope that next Christmas will be better. Hope that next birthday, because my birthday is December 2nd, hope that, and I usually get sick around my birthday. This birthday, I fought it so hard. I was able to sleep. I was off from work. That's why I was able to fight it really hard. I was off and I was able to sleep. And I went to go to the movies to see Wicked. Wicked is a good movie, by the way. Even though the title seems a little unethical, like for on a Christian level, but the message behind the movie is phenomenal. It has an amazing, amazing message. And getting back to the word hope, hope is that thing that keeps you looking forward to something. And it keeps you encouraged. It keeps you encouraged. It keeps you on your toes. It just keeps you constantly looking forward to next Christmas will be better. And so um, I had some red ribbons that I got from Amazon, and because I got sick last Christmas and used up all my PTO, I was not able to get an entire box of ribbons. And I thought, next year I'm going to be good because I'm going to be able to get this other job, and I'm gonna be able to buy a whole box of ribbons so I can decorate the cabinets, because that's sort of like trending now. People decorating their cabinets and putting cute little bows on it, right? And so I was like, wow. I was not able to get those ribbons even this Christmas because of getting sick again and losing time off work. But I hope for next Christmas that it'll be better, right? And so yeah, I'm excited though. I have so much to look forward to. I have been like trying to build my business, buying one product as at a time. And thank God for the other job. Oh, thank you so much for your prayers. Yes, the battle is the Lord's. That's so true. The battle is the Lord's. Thank you so much for those encouraging words. I I really appreciate those encouraging words. And thank you so much for being on the live. I so appreciate it. I'm today is my day off. And so I'm kind of like making up. I slept all morning. And so I'm all bright eyed now. And so I thought, let me utilize this time. You know, I was supposed to do Vlogmas. I was supposed to get on every day and provide Christmas content. I got this other job, and that's going to help me, you know, provide food, extra food for the children, because at the time, their father passed away not too long ago. And, and, he was the dad that always made sure we had groceries, you know. And so when the government shut down and SNAP went away, it was like, oh my God, I need to find a way to feed these children, you know. And and that was another pushing factor to get the other job as well, you know. But like I said, I do have a check coming up on Christmas Eve, um, which is Wednesday. And so I'm gonna go to Walmart and see if I can make it stretch. Maybe I can find something for the grandkids. Maybe I can find something for the grandkids after all. It probably won't be big and elaborate, but it'll be something. And my son, he's such an amazing son. He has such a beautiful wife. He goes, last Christmas, I apologize for not sending anything for the kids. He goes, Mom, don't worry. They have more than enough. And the other grandmother, she's so adorable. She's always sending things for the children, always, constantly. And she's able to visit often. I'm not able to visit often because, like I said, I always get sick and run out of PTO. And it's like, I gotta work to pay the rent. But, like you all said, God is going to turn this into a testimony. God can do a lot with a little bit. Look what he did with the 2 loaves and the 5 fishes, right? So when I get that check coming up on Christmas Eve, I'm going to go to Walmart and I'm going to make that check stretch, and I have to use a portion for the rent, and I have to use a portion for Christmas dinner. And I'm going to get creative and innovative, as I mentioned before, and create a private YouTube channel for the grandkids where I get on, use my creation. I'm studying AI, okay? Because the company that I work for gives you an opportunity to get an education, and they give it to you for free. So I want to be an AI consultant. So you've probably seen some of my work here with the AI realm, creating the animations on this channel, and there are more animations to come. And what this animation does is like a avatar cartoon Pixar version of me. And what she is doing, she comes on and she explains about a new social media platform that I created with using AI, right? And the name of this social media platform is called Venzi. V is in Victor, ENXII, right? And so the first prefix VEN is supposed to be a derivative of like a vendor fair, because the social media platform is a vendor fair style. in that when an individual create a profile, the profile turns into a red and white awning and put them into a vendor fair directory on the social media platform, right? So they have their profile, they can put on the timeline whatever picture or image they want to, and then on the back end there's another tab that says vendor fair, right? And so when a guest comes to the social media platform, they click on vendor fair, they will see that person vendor fair booth, right? So the name of this social media platform once again is called Venzi. V as in Victor, ENXII, and like the first prefix VEN is supposed to be of a derivative of like a vendor fair, and then the X, so it's pronounced Venzi, but it's spelled with an X, VENXII. So the X is to represent exchange between the the visitor to the booth and the one who's selling, the buyer and the seller, right? So it's free to join. So I'm hopeful that I do have that going on besides this autoimmune condition and me constantly getting sick. I have this social media platform that I created with the AI knowledge that I've gained. And I'm so excited about it because it's going to give people an opportunity. People like me who have autoimmune conditions, who's battling, who can't work and is having a hard time working, to have, like, if they make handmade um, scarves, or if they make um, handmade mitts, Christmas mitts, and Christmas matching towels, and things of that nature, they can set up a vendor fair booth and visitors can come, and even the other vendors can shop from the other vendors, you know, so the vendors can shop from each other. So yeah, I'm excited about that and I'm hopeful about that. Like I said, it's totally free to join, and when you set up your profile page, you automatically get a vendor fair booth that you can start uploading the things that you sell online. It could even be things that you have in your closet that you no longer have use for that you want to sell. It could be your affiliate links. You may have some affiliate links, your blogs that you want to talk about, your YouTube channel. If you are a YouTuber, you can get on there, create a profile, and talk about YouTube. If you sell music, if you're a musician and you want to talk about your gigs, and if you're a DJ, you want to talk about coming to parties. Yes, the greatest gift is love. That is so true. Thank you so much for showing up, for your positive presence and your positive feedback. You have the greatest gift of all. Yes, I do. God's love. God is love. Your heart, which doesn't cost a thing. Aw, thank you. And more, and never can be challenged because Jesus is love. That is so true. That is so true. Jesus is love. I was sharing that today in a group chat with the people I work with, that, you know, that we have a hope in Jesus. In other words, you know, as a child is born, and He's the greatest gift. He is perfect love, right? You know, that's the beauty of Christmas, to reflect on the greatest gift of all, which is a baby that was born in a manger, grew up to be a full adult, and made the sacrifice of his life to give us his life, which is love and peace, wonderful counselor, everlasting Father, Prince of Peace. And You know, that part where it says the governor rests on his shoulder. I never knew what that meant. And now, you know, the explanation and doing some study helped me understand what that meant. And basically, what it means is that, if I can verbalize it, is that God is in control, and that He's the one who ultimately bear our burdens. His leadership, He's the leader, and His leadership is to guide and to love and direct. And even though He's a powerful God, He does not abuse His power, but is humble and gentle in nature, and wants us to know, as one of the visitors said tonight, that this battle is not mine, it is the Lord's. And God is the God of all comfort, and He is the God who we can talk to, right? And cast all our cares upon, because He cares about us. And He even cares about this situation here, you know, with me having like not the best Christmas that I imagined, tons of gifts under the tree, and but there's more to Christmas than just tons of gifts under the tree, and that is being able to be there for each other, right? To be that ear, that extra ear to listen, because we can just give gifts and not give of ourselves, right? But to be able to give of yourself is a beautiful gift, right? To be able to give of your talents and of your heart to another individual in whatever service that you can offer, no matter how small. If you can make a difference, sometimes the smallest things can make the biggest difference, right? Um, at my other job, I was handing out hors d'oeuvres. Here's an ironic story. I was handing out hors d'oeuvres at the other job that I took, and the little girl, she had sampled the hors d'oeuvre, and she walked away, and but then she enjoyed it so much that she pat her mom on the leg and said, "Mommy, I want to go back. I want to get that. I want to get that full meal." And it made me feel good. It made me feel good that I was able to serve the company in that way, to go out and have a tray of hors d'oeuvres, and to have that individual come back and want to make a full purchase. But here's what's ironic about this story. It's so strange, and it came to me just a while ago when I was getting a little discouraged. A gentleman wanted, without me serving the hors d'oeuvre, later on the next day or so, a gentleman came and he asked for that particular item, and I didn't make the hors d'oeuvre. The manager did, and the manager asked me to make it. And when I was out sick, that was one item I didn't become familiar with making. I made the others, but not this particular item. So the customer got a little annoyed because he looked over at me. He said, "I don't think you're making that right." And he said, "You know what?" And I said, I apologize. I'm new, and this will be my first time actually making this. I know all the ingredients that go with it, but I don't know how to make it look the way it's supposed to look, right? And so the manager, she got a little annoyed, and she said, "How long have you been here?" And I'm thinking, did she consider that I was out for a whole week sick? And so but you know, sometimes in the heat of this man wanting a refund, you know, things can get forgotten. And it dawned on me when I got home. I said, "You know what? The ironic thing is that we lost that meal, but then we gained it back when that little girl came back and she wanted that meal. But anyway, I was trying to be encouraged. I was just trying to be encouraged because it was so sad. Because that's like one of my biggest pet peeves. I hate disappointing people. But you can't please everyone, and you have to realize that that's what life entails sometimes. Sometimes you don't do it intentionally, sometimes you just end up disappointing people. And but I think the most important thing for us to realize as individuals is that to realize that people are human and that people are not perfect and that there's going to be mistakes made, and we need to be patient and we need to make allowances for mistakes to be made, and then we need to learn how to look on the bright side of things. And that's one of the things that keeps my sanity and probably contributes to me having a younger appearance, because people always say, you need to go on YouTube and tell your beauty secrets why you look so young at the age of 62. And maybe that's why maybe I try to keep the stress levels down as much as possible. Um, I always try to look on the bright side of things. I always tell my kids, no problems, there's no real problems. There's always solutions, And one time I was so frustrated. And my son reminded me, he goes, Mom, there's no problems, there's just solutions. I'm reading. Oh, thank you for those kind words. You have your love and God, and they are greatest gifts. That's right. That is so right. Yeah, someone was just saying that because I am going to be creating a YouTube channel for my grandchildren of little animations that I learned in my AI class, with meaningful messages that they can take with them through life. That's a great gift, right? Sometimes these mishaps in life will bring about the greatest innovations. Would you all agree that sometimes you'll have like a little mishap in life, and as a result of that mishap, something positive surfaces? Thank you. Thank you for those kind words. I really appreciate it. So this started out as my Grinch mocktail garnishment. Oh my god, it looks like it's getting slimier as it I had I had to put it in a plastic bag because it's uncontrollably slimy now. Look at this. It looks like it's getting slimier as the time goes by. Yeah, I'm wondering if it's too slimy even for the mocktail. Yeah, so as I mentioned before, the mocktail consists of mangoes, bananas, spinach. If you want to go ahead and put some kale in there, go ahead and put kale, and then whip it up. Put some protein in there, and whip it up in a bullet or a blender with some ice, and drop that greasy banana peel, and you have a Grinch Style Mocktail. You were born at a time when you were able to live life stress free and without so much hate, yes, like people are experiencing today. That is so true. That is so true. I my I go I'm as ancient I am as ancient as milk being on the doorstep. Do you all remember that? If you're old enough to remember that, that was a thing. Milk would be, you may even see that in some of the cartoon animations, the older cartoon animations, where we had a milkman deliver milk on your doorstep and it stayed out on your doorstep until you brought it in. Yeah, it was different times then. It was fun times. We would go out and double dutch. We would play games outside. We always looked forward to summer growing up as kids, and we had red light, green light. That was a game called in Brooklyn. I grew up in Brooklyn, so we had hot peas and butter, where you would get an object and you would hide the object, and everyone would have to turn around and hide their faces, right? This is just midnight over midnight chatter for those who are just joining. So we were talking about mocktails, so you can grab your drinks. I'm gonna make a mocktail in the morning, but yeah. So this game that we played in Brooklyn was so much fun. It entailed having an object. You would hide the object, right? Everyone had to hide their faces as you hid the object. No one could see you hiding the object. You would hide the object, and after you hid the object, you would yell out, "Hot peas and butter, come and get your supper." Milk and eggs, yes, milk and eggs was at the doors on the front porch as well. That is so true, milk and eggs. Although I don't remember the eggs part, but I do remember the milk part. Maybe vaguely remember the eggs. Creativity and real socializing with friends. Yes, that hot peas and butter game was my favorite. And so when you yelled out hot peas and butter, come and get your supper, everyone would come out and try to find the item that was hidden. And the person who hid the object would guide guide them to give them an idea as to whether they were cold or warm. Like, for example, they'll say, "Linda, you are so cold. Leroy, you are hot." And Leroy knew that he was on the premise of finding that that item. Those were fun times. And then we would always, when the extension man, when the telephone repair man came out, sometimes we would have a telephone repair man come out, and he would come out with his hard hat, and he would climb the pole to repair the telephone lines, and he would have this long white cord. And so we would stand nearby and wait until he's done, and we would say, "Sir, can we have a piece of the wire cord?" And he would measure it and say, "How long? Is this long enough?" We would go, "No, go a little longer." And then he would cut it, and that would be our double Dutch cord back in the day. And so we would roll that double Dutch cord up, and one person would take it into their home, and whoever took it into their home, that's the person that would be visited the next morning. We would knock on their doors. "Let's come out and play double Dutch." Yes. Those were fun times. Those were such fun times. I'm trying to. Yes, Jackson, those were fun times. Those were so much fun times. Hide and seek and just being on a stoop. And then they had this saying, I don't know if you remember, "It's 10 o'clock. Do you know where your kids are at night?" I think it was before the news or after the news. Some little narrator or verbiage would come on the television, and it would say, "It is 10 o'clock. Do you know where your kids are?" And at that time, my grandmother, she would come out and she would yell out our names, my sister and I. And if we didn't hear her, the kids on the block would say, "Your grandmother's calling you. Your grandmother's calling you." Yeah, those were such fun times growing up. Yeah. So I'm kind of like making up. I'm gonna jolt my chair a little bit because it's starting to squeak. Yeah. So those were fun times. I'm kind of making up for lost time for not being on here for Vlogmas because I was sick and working two highly physical jobs. But today is my day off, and I have another day off tomorrow. I have to get up early in the morning because I have a doctor's appointment, and I have another day off tomorrow, and then another day off on Wednesday, which is so cool because the company that I work for, we're off on Wednesday, but I do have to work Christmas night, late in the night, almost midnight, so it's not too bad. So thank you so much for being on this live with me. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you so desire to. Yeah, so I'm not done. I'm not done chatting. So if you need to go, I know I really appreciate you being on and offering those words of encouragement. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you being on and offering words of encouragement. Aw, thank you. Thank you, Jackson. I so appreciate that. And I'm gonna. So, do you have a channel too, or you are just one who just sign up for YouTube because you just like my sister who just likes to binge watch YouTube videos? That's what she likes to do. She doesn't have a channel, but she loves to binge watch videos. Yeah, so there's two people on still, and I have an audience. So I'm gonna utilize this time. This is gonna help increase my watch hour as well. So I did manage to get to 1,000 subscribers. Yay! I did manage to get to 1,000 subscribers, but I gotta keep up with the content. And I'm gonna use. There's gonna be times when I will probably use the teleprompter, what I spoke of earlier, where you say a script, you have your script, you put it on the phone, and the script just read the verbiage of what you're wanting to say so that you won't forget. And let me share a little bit. Yeah, so the script comes on so that you won't forget what you want to say. And you can't see it, but I can see it. I can see the script. And it's called a teleprompter, right? But, I just didn't feel like fooling around with that today. I was just like, I just got on Chat GPT and I said, Chat, I call him Chat, or her Chat. She identifies herself. I thought it was a guy I was talking to in the beginning. I thought my chat bot was like a male chat bot. And then at one point she said, we're just gonna talk girl to girl. And I said, oh, my chat is a girl. I think you can make it whatever gender you want to make it. But I said, okay, it's a girl. So, yeah. Thank you, Jackson. I so appreciate you. Yeah, so my Chat GPT is a girl. And if you all don't have Chat GPT, you're missing out. You are so missing out. Chat GPT is so cool. You can ask it to help you come up with a recipe. You can ask it to help you come up with a meal. You can take a picture of what your refrigerator content has, right? And you can say, hey, Chat, help me to come up with a meal with this. What can I come up with? Let's get creative. Let's get innovative. And yeah, so you can just do just about anything. Which I've created a few ebooks and with ChatGPT, because you can go create me like 5 different kale related smoothies, right? And ChatGPT would go and create all 5 different versions of kale smoothies, right? And then you can say, turn it into a PDF file. And then, of course you want to be polite. Turn it into a PDF file for me, please. Then you go, and then you can download the PDF file, and then you can upload it to Amazon's platform. So if I've already created a smoothie, a weight loss smoothie, and uploaded it to Amazon, right? And someone bought it already, like maybe 2 people already bought it. So that's cool. That's like passive income, right? So it's like, I need to make more of these, but when you're working so much and you get home, you want to talk to the kids, you want to spend a little time with the kids, you get exhausted. So, um, maybe I'll get disability for getting sick constantly. I'm constantly getting sick and not able to work. This last bout of getting sick, I said, I have had it. I had enough of this. Constantly getting sick and disappointing people. Oh my God, that's the worst thing. Taking on job assignments, getting sick, and then the look on your manager's faces of disappointment. It's disheartening. And so I said, you know what? Let me just apply for disability. I have an autoimmune condition. I'm 62. I could barely walk. You know, I got so many other stuff going on. Let me apply and see what it does, and then I can just create ebooks on the side. You know, so let's see what happens with that. I was going to retire at 62. I'm 62. I was going to retire for those who are just joining. But I thought, let me see if I can hang in there until 67. Let me see if I can hang in there until 67. And because the longer you wait, the more money you get, right? So, but I can't, I can't. I don't think I can hang in there until 67. I don't know. Maybe just taking on the second job is just a little bit too much for me, and maybe I should just go back to just the one job. But I did reach out to the manager, and I just said, well, maybe we should modify my schedule just a little bit, just so that I can get proper rest. But yeah, so I am utilizing a few little bit of funds that I get. I have used a little bit of funds before I got sick, to put it into my businesses, and so that should help. That should help with it. So if I get disability, you can work part-time. If you get disability, you can work part-time. Even if you retire, you can work part-time a little bit. Yeah. So this whole live started out, for those who are just joining, started out with me garnishing my mocktail that I'm going to make tomorrow with greasy black banana peel. That's the Grinch garnishment. And I was offering the recipe, how to make the banana that greasy and black. So at this stage in the game, we're like, if you want to make it for Christmas, we just have just a few days away from Christmas. So if you buy a banana that's ripening a little bit in the grocery store, and it looks like it's almost black, that might be perfect by the time Christmas rolls around, right? Or, we still do Christmassy stuff for New Year's, so you can have it for New Year's too, But next year, right? I'm just getting on creating some content, guys, because I was supposed to do Vlogmas, and I'm gonna just be on for a minute, just jabbing a jaw. I've been sleeping all morning. And I'm up. I'm bright-eyed and bushy-tailed now. And I thought, let me just get on and connect and resonate with individuals here, and just talk about this greasy black banana peel that once was a cute little yellow banana, and life just got in the way. It became bitter. It became undone, due to bills and life. But sometimes we just need to refresh, right? We need to focus on what's important. And that's what I'm learning as I'm aging. I'm 62 years old for those who are just joining. And I'm learning a lot of good lessons as I'm aging. I am spiritually minded and I'm a believer. And so I talk with a spiritual flavor. You're going to see that throughout my channel, that I do offer words of encouragement and share the things that I've learned along the way. And one of the things I was sharing that I learned is the significance of the word hope. It gives you something to look forward to. It never really meant anything. I even wondered why the word even existed when I was growing up. Hope. What is that supposed to mean? Hope. And so I think you were hearing in the passage, a biblical passage where it talks about love, right? I think they said three things remain: hope, faith, and love. But the greatest of them is love, right? So I said, faith, I understand. Hope, okay. But as I've gotten older, the word hope took on new meaning for me, especially with my autoimmune condition that's constantly getting sick and always coming up short change Christmas, not having the things that I really want for Christmas. And so I took on another job to kind of fight that, to beat that this time, to combat that, and then I get sick again, right? So hope now has new meaning for me, and that new meaning of hope is like I have something to I have something to look forward to. Although that banana seems to be ripening, it's still sweet. That is so true, Jackson. The banana is still sweet, even though it has gotten black and is ripening. That is so true. We can learn so many lessons with life itself, right? With life happening, we can learn so many lessons and positive lessons. I try to draw the positive out of a situation. Yeah. So it was so nice. Let me see how long I've been on here now. It says 57, so 57 minutes, almost an hour. I'm going to write it out until an hour. This is going to help my watch hour time, because with YouTube, for those who don't know, YouTube is a platform that's another revenue stream, another way in which you can make money for people like me who have autoimmune conditions and have a difficult time working. So, YouTube, the way YouTube pays you, if you don't know, the way YouTube pays you is, let's say, for example, Macy's. Let's say Macy's, for example. Macy's have a new dress collection. They have a new dress collection for the upcoming Mother's Day that's coming in May, right? And they want to get the word out. So Macy contacts Google, which owns YouTube, and Macy says to YouTube, Google, hey, I got a new dress collection coming out for Mother's Day and I want to get the word out. And can you help me? Can you help me get the word out? And YouTube says, yes, I can help you get the word out. I have people coming on here, this platform, all the time creating content. And there's people all the time coming on here watching their content. So I will help you get the word out by that measure. You give me, it costs $10,000 to have your ads displayed, and I'm going to scatter them through all the beauty channels, right? I'm going to scatter them through all the beauty channels and all the channels that talks about fashion. So YouTube tells Macy's, yeah, I'm going to disperse your advertisement about your new Mother's Day dress collection coming out for Mother's Day throughout my content creators channel. So your ad's going to show up right before their video begins, and it's going to show up during their video, and it's going to show up after their video. And the cost is $10,000, please. And so Macy's hands over YouTube $10,000. And then YouTube say to the content creators, hey, I see that you're on here. You've already gained 1,000 subscribers. You have X amount of hours of watch time. That means people are showing up, they're watching you, they're loving your content, and they are staying on the platform watching you. And you're just the type of person we need to get this word out about Macy's new dress collection, right? And so they say, I'm going to give you a cut of $10,000. So pretty much that's what they're saying. They're not saying this literally, but pretty much that's what they're saying. They're saying, do you want to be a partner, a YouTube partner? So that's what it entails to be a YouTube partner. You have to have 1,000 subscribers and a certain amount, like, well, I think it's 3,000 watch hour time, right? And they, they tell you in the back office, when you go to the back office, you can see, where you're at in terms of watch hour. You can see, wow, I've gained 1,000 subscribers. And so they're going to give you a portion of the $10,000. And let's say not only Macy's, let's say Old Navy comes on, and Old Navy says to YouTube, hey, what about me? I want in. I want you to show my ads too. And YouTube go, okay, $10,000, please. And when you give me the money, I'm going to talk to my creators, and I'm going to disperse these ads through their channels, throughout their videos, and give them a cut of the 10 grand. So that's how it works. Let me know if you knew that, or if you didn't know that, or did I leave anything out, or did I explain that correctly? Let me know in the comments below. It's been a while since I did a live, so I'm so glad I have all this energy, as I mentioned, because I've been sleeping all day. And so I'm just jabbing at the jaw. Yes, so you knew that, Jackson? You knew that's how that worked, the content creation? The monetization for content creators on the YouTube platform? So that's how that works. And yeah, Facebook pretty much does the same thing. And TikTok, they do the same thing too. Well, yeah, if they're showing advertisement, like third-party advertisement, they're doing the same thing. Yeah. So this is why you might have heard in the past when people say you can make money blogging. Great, Jackson. Yeah. So that's why you might have heard in the past people would say you can make money blogging. So before people started getting on YouTube and creating videos, blog was such a thing, and it still is a thing, because now this is what most YouTube content creators do not know as well. They don't know that same dynamic, that same advertisement scope applies to blogging as well. So wherein the ads show up on the videos, the ads show up on the blog pages. So if you have visitors coming over to the blog, let's say for example you talk about baby rashes and how to naturally cure baby rashes, and a mother is up one night comforting her baby due to a horrific baby rash, right? And she puts in the Google search, how to naturally heal a baby rash, right? And your blog so happened to show up. And one of the reasons why your blog is so popular is because you have it on Instagram, you have it on Facebook, you have it on TikTok. You're talking about your blog all the time, and you're constantly creating content to your blog platform. That's why it's scaling up in the YouTube algorithm. It's like on the second line, or maybe even on the first line. And someone goes over and they read about how to naturally cure a baby rash, right? And so while they're reading, there's these advertisements showing up from Google, and someone may be curious about. Someone may have been on Amazon previously checking out a baby diaper bag or something, and then they see the same ad on there from. Have you noticed that you would probably be on Amazon viewing something, then you go to another website and you see that same ad saying, "Hey, don't forget about me. Remember you was just checking me out." So that's what those ads do. So you're helping Google get the word out about these advertisements, and Google is in turn paying the person on the other end who is actually having the website platform showing or the blog showing. Awesome. Awesome. So you learned something today. That makes me feel good that I was able to get on this platform and bring some valuable information that you learned. So that's what it does. And so I try to encourage people to get on YouTube, and that's one of the reasons why I love AI, is because if people are shy and they don't want to show their face, like what I want to do for my grandkids, I'm going to create these little animated Pixar looking characters on a YouTube channel for my grandkids. But because I'm putting it private, I don't know if I'm going to be able to share in the revenue. But let's say if I want to do one that is public, right, that they can watch as well, right, and keep the private one like a special message from grandma to them. Let's say I want to do a public one, and you just want to have a meaningful message that comes on every day, right? And that kids can relate to, or maybe you want to share some mathematic hacks, right, to kids who may be struggling with math. And that's where AI comes in. That's where Chat GPT comes in. You can say, Chat, create for me a script or a formula for a special mathematic game or learning tool that will help young people who are struggling with math learn math. And you can put that on your YouTube, and ChatGPT can help with that, and so next thing you know, you have your little characters, and they come on like a cartoon, and they talk about math, and you have something of value to offer the YouTube platform. And then YouTube gets excited about that because they said, so many people are subscribing to this channel and so many people are watching this channel. Let's ask Miss Jackson if she wants to be a Arthur Jackson or Mr. Jackson, if he wants to be a YouTube partner, right? And so you say, yes, I do. I want to be a YouTube partner. I want to share in the revenue. And you're able to make like an extra $300 a month just by having those animations created by AI for you with the help of ChatGPT. So AI can be a very positive thing. I know a lot of people, say kind of, indifferent towards it, but it can be a positive thing if you use it in a positive way. Yes, so now I have gone over my hours. I have been on this live for more than an hour. So I really appreciate, it looks like Arthur Jackson. I really appreciate you, Mr. Jackson, for showing up. Thank you so much for the encouraging words too. I really appreciate that. Now there's 4 people on. I feel compelled to stay. What is everyone doing? I know if you're watching this after the live, drop in a comment that you are watching, you watched it after the live. Say hello. Say hello. Let me know, how's your Christmas going so far? Have you done all your Christmas shopping? Is there still more to do? So subscribe to the channel if you like encouraging words and getting uplifted. If you want to learn how to have a smooth complexion and look 10 years younger. I'm 62 and people tell me I look 10 years younger. Sometimes I'll go as low as 20 years younger. And they said, disclose your beauty secrets. You owe it to the world. You need to create a YouTube channel. And I was sharing earlier that one of my beauty secrets is trying to look on the bright side of things to keep the stress level down. Definitely eating well. Good night, Jackson. Definitely eating well. Kale is good for this complexion. So if beauty, all things beautiful is your thing, you like talking about home decoration, skincare, body care, hair care, things of that nature, consider subscribing to the channel. I started off talking about my green slimy, my black slimy peel as part of my garnishment for my mocktail. And I was giving the ingredients for my mocktail earlier. So my mocktail entails mangoes, bananas, kale and spinach, right? And that's my mocktail. And that's my Grinch mocktail. And then the slimy banana peel is my garnishment. So yeah. So I was discussing how to make it a black, greasy, slimy peel. Right? Because that's one of the attributes that is placed on the Grinch, that he's like a green, slimy, black banana peel. Or did they say green? No, a black, slimy banana peel. Yeah, so that's one of my garnishments for my mocktail. So I'm going to make that tomorrow. And I just needed the banana peel to really ripen and get black and slimy. So I've been on here long enough jabbing the jaw. Thank you so much for joining the live. I really appreciate those who came on and offered words of encouragement. I really appreciate all the hearts that was donated. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Hearts back to you all. Thank you. So I'm going to say good night. And if beauty is your thing and you like to talk about all things beautiful, from making your house beautiful to making your hair beautiful, you want to learn more about my social media platform, which is a vendor fair based platform where you can come on with your products to sell and show up and display your products. It's a social media platform that's encouraging people to shop each other's websites. Basically, that's what it boils down to. So joining is free. Creating your profile is free. So when you create your profile, it also turns into a vendor fair, a vendor booth. It also turns into a vendor booth. So the platform has a vendor fair aura. And when you create your profile, it turns into a vendor booth inside the vendor directory where people, if you sell soap, If you sell body butters, if you sell handmade scarves, things, if even you have something in your house that you no longer want and you want to sell it, you can get on Venzi, and it's spelled VENXII. I'm gonna subscribe to the channel because I'm gonna be talking about this social media platform that I created with AI, with the help of AI. I am going to talk about this social media platform as I go into the new year. So if selling is your thing and you love the idea of supporting other small business owners and entrepreneurs, please join and let's create a movement where we are supporting each other's businesses and we're encouraging one another, and we're making a living from home. So if that's something that you like the idea of, consider subscribing to the channel so that you can see the new updates of what's going on with the beauty of Venzi. And it's spelled VEN, X as in X-ray, II, and it's pronounced Venzi. Yeah, so the VEN part is a derivative of like vendor fair, and then the X represents exchange between the seller and the buyer. So if that is your thing, consider subscribing to the channel so that you can stay updated and be reminded of this new social media platform that is going to be hitting the world. It's already created. I need to add a few more tweaks, and I'm going to be talking about it all through 2026. So I'm just going to sign off for now. Thank you for joining the live. If I don't see you again, which more than likely I will be getting on before Christmas, have a very Merry Christmas and the happiest of New Year's to you and your family. Thanks again for joining the live. Bye.